Hey, it's your girl Yona Marie, and today I want to give a few tips for people trying to land their music on playlists, especially playlists like the ones on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, and etc. Yona Marie music, create with me. So my first tip for music makers out there is make sure you research the playlist that you're trying to get onto, because I've had a lot of experience lately and where I've been getting put on playlists, but unfortunately these playlists actually have no listeners, no fans, nobody's playing it. So thankfully I'm glad that the people that put me on had the interest in my music, but there's a lot of playlists out there that are actually kind of dead. I hate to tell it to you. Be especially careful when you're submitting through companies like Submit Hub. Some playlists on here are worth getting on, but there are a lot of little baby playlists out there that people just made. I'm pretty sure they made just because they love music but don't have any audience. So they'll put you on there and you think you're about to get somewhere, but unfortunately nothing happens. You might get the one listener from the person that actually made the playlist, but that's about it. So be sure to do your research. Go for playlists that actually have an audience, actually have followers, that are actually prestigious. Of course, the best types of playlists to get on is a Spotify editorial playlist. And so I want to share a few tips to get on bigger playlists after you research some really good ones. Also, be sure that you're submitting to playlists that actually match your style. Spotify is actually getting really intense with their algorithm, and if you get added on playlists that are just adding any old person, everybody, it's not getting connected on things that are actually aligned with your genre, your style, and your desired audience. And that may actually make it lose some steam when Spotify wants to take the chance and put your song in front of the target audience that you want to get in front of. So before you start pitching, you also want to make sure that you have your online presence managed and ready to go, looking good, social media profiles, your bio. Make sure that you're already making a buzz online, and so when people come across your music and your submissions, they're like, this artist already has a buzz, their fans are popping, they already have a brand image that is out there, that is resonating with people, so they'll be more likely to add your music to their playlist. Now, if you're submitting and you don't have a bio out there, you don't have any social media links, you look like your music brand is kind of dead, it's actually going to negatively affect your chances to get on a playlist. So make sure everything's looking good with your online brand presence. You also want to take the chance, if possible, to treat it like a job interview and follow up, connect possibly with the playlist creators, get in contact with them, follow them on social media, look them up and see what they like when it comes to their submission process. See what types of things really stand out to them, connect with them, maybe even on a personal level. Maybe you'll find somebody that has a playlist and you check out their Instagram and you see their likes, you see their dislikes, you see their hobbies, and you reach out to them like, hey, I like that too. Also, I submitted my music through such and such channel, so let me know. I just wanted to follow up and see if you saw it. Because a lot of times, playlist submissions are coming in by the dozens, by the hundreds, by the thousands. So like job interviews, it's kind of hard to stand out with your application. One thing that I've been hearing from a lot of music players, people that promote music, people that work for labels, is that they really want to see consistency. And this is something that I struggle with as well. These labels, these playlist curators, these promoters, they really want to see people that are releasing music every couple months or every month. People that have a dedicated, consistent music release plan. They're putting out multiple songs a year. They're putting a lot of energy into their promotional efforts, their visual media. They're putting out cover art. They're putting out videos, even if it's just a lyric video. These people want to see consistency in your brand. They don't want to see somebody that's coming along, even if you have a good song, but you have a song that came out this year and then your previous song before came out maybe a couple years ago. Now that might be something that you are struggling with as well. So I suggest you get consistent with your song releases. Even if you take the approach of, let's say, instead of putting out albums, you make an album's worth of songs, but you release them every couple of months throughout a year. That way they're seeing consistency in your brand, they're seeing consistency in your promotion, your social media channels, etc. I'm hearing that goes a very, very long way when it comes to playlist pitching. One thing that a lot of people may overlook, and I don't want you to be one of these people that are overlooking it, you may believe in your talent, you may believe in your song quality, but sometimes you just don't have the quality, or you just don't have the talent yet, or you're just not really aligning with the audience that will make sense for the playlist that you're submitting to. So get some outside feedback. Make sure that even though you're very excited about your song, you know that you have a very subjective opinion on it. So get feedback from friends, family, but also strangers. Get feedback from industry professionals. Get feedback from especially audio professionals. Because I hear a lot of indie music out there that has a lot of potential, but unfortunately, the audio quality is a little subpar. Or unfortunately, it's a rapper that has a banger, but the hook that they decided to go with, or the hook artist that they decided to go with, brings the song quality down a whole lot. So make sure as a whole, your song is a banger, because that's the most important thing, obviously, that's going to increase your chances of landing on a playlist. Another thing I've learned that is a no-no when it comes to submitting, especially in terms of Spotify playlists, Spotify editorial playlists, you know, when you go to artist.spotify.com and that gives you the opportunity to submit to get in front of huge playlists, is that people aren't submitting their music in advance enough. Let's say you have a song, it's great, it's perfect, you have visuals for it, you have the lyrics ready, you have your whole list of people that you want to submit it to, but you get a little bit antsy and you put on Spotify that you want to release it like a week or two from now. I have learned that you actually want to give yourself a lot of room. You want to at least submit your song for release that is at least a month away from when your song is finished. Now, I know that might sound like a chore. You want to put that song out right now. You're so excited about the song. Trust me, I have that process myself. And Spotify themselves will tell you, you want to at least put the song out maybe 2 weeks in advance. But the longer you put it out in advance, the more that these Spotify editorial listeners will get a chance to actually find your music and connect it with the right playlist if it's something that they're interested in. So the next time you're putting out a song, I know it's gonna feel like a million years away, but consider putting that release date out a month, maybe a month and a half, maybe even 2 months. And then put all your promotional energy into the song. You can still put out teasers, you can still put out visuals, you can still do interviews, you can do a lot leading up to the song release. But don't be one of those people that finish a song and then you set the release date for like a week in advance, because you're actually going to be missing out on a lot of promotional opportunities that way, especially playlist pitching. I've also found that a lot of places that you wouldn't expect have their own playlists. Let's say radio stations, community radio stations, college radio stations, online radio stations. I found that I've submitted my music to these places and they've also offered me a free spot on a relevant playlist and got me some promo that way. So not only can you find playlists through sites like Submit Hub and Groover, but you can go to your local radio station. You can go to your favorite community radio station, online stations that especially promote in your genre, your style in particular. Submit music and they may add you to rotation and just throw you on a great playlist also. And that way you can get the ball rolling, even though it might not be as big as like a Spotify editorial playlist. It's a good way to get your music out there and to get the algorithm interested in what you're doing. I have found that I got submitted to a college radio station that had a playlist. And the next thing I know, Spotify radio started playing my song more because that playlist must have done something right in terms of the Spotify algorithms. And so Spotify just started putting my music in front of more people that would like my sound. And again, I just want to close out with saying, be careful with paying for playlist submissions. Sometimes it's all right, sometimes it's kind of worth it, but most of the time, like 90% of the time, you're going to be submitted to get on a playlist that isn't popping at all. Make sure you aren't wasting your money, because unfortunately there are a lot of playlist submission options out here that are just straight up scams. I hate to say it, but the music industry is full of scams. So research is the best way to combat against scams. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure to check out my website, YonaMarieMusic.com, for more tips on your music career, and I will see you next time.